Get over here!
Hey guys, this is Michael here, and I'm going to be reviewing Mortal Kombat X for the PlayStation 4 console. I've played Mortal Kombat here and there over the years. Nothing really stuck out to me. The last Mortal Kombat I really enjoyed playing was Mortal Kombat 4. I did play Mortal Kombat 9. It was okay. I didn't really get too involved in the game that much, but I did enjoy Injustice a lot, and I was hopeful for the next Mortal Kombat game to add a lot of those elements into the game, make it more, fun. So let's see if Mortal Kombat X was able to live up to the expectations I had. Alright guys, so first we're going to talk about the storyline. The basic story is, right after Mortal Kombat 9, Shinnok is resurrected, and our forces of good are trying to put him back to sleep pretty much inside this amulet, and they actually succeed in doing that. Now fast forward to the present day, which is about 20 years later. A lot of characters have children, especially our newest hero, Cassie Cage, is the newest hero of the game, and some of the Outworlders are trying to resurrect Shinnok through a lot of crazy convoluted plot lines, and there's a lot of intrigue, there's a lot of really important integral story elements to the actual story, as far as the different dynamics between Outworld and Earthrealm, and all the other different factions that are in the game. What I did like is that they actually did weave a really good storyline. They fleshed out a lot of things like Scorpion's past, and how he became that crazy Spectre, and they fleshed out a lot of different relationships between characters like the Lin Kuei, and they started to really make the story seem more plausible than it did in the past, because they never really gave a lot of explanation to a lot of things that were happening inside the actual Mortal Kombat universe, which I applaud them for doing that. And the storyline through the actual playing story mode is played out through different chapters, and each chapter has a different person that you're playing as. You see their perspective of the actual storyline. And there's QTEs in there too, which I thought were pretty cool. They actually make you not just sit there and watch for long periods of time and then you fight. You actually see the story, and as you're playing through it, you actually press buttons at the correct time to activate different events for the QTEs, and then it goes right into a fight. So I like the way they integrated the story and the action to the actual fighting system. I thought that was really great and cool, and it made the story mode actually worth playing. Story mode is about, I would say, 2.5 hours long, depending on how good you are, because it took me a while to beat certain people with certain characters, because you are playing with different characters at each point with different chapters. So if you suck with certain characters, it might take a little bit longer to beat the part of the game. So yeah, overall I love the story mode for Mortal Kombat.
You said a mouthful.
Kano, you treacherous bastard. Well, right here we're actually having a squabble in the back of a carriage. I am playing through Kotal Khan's story chapter, and these are the QTEs I was talking about earlier, and these are all throughout the actual story mode, which are pretty fun. I thought this was a really cool idea for this particular gameplay portion of it. Then there's the towers mode, which are basically different endless challenges you get to fight against. Each one has specific different things. Right here we're going to go to traditional towers, which is what you expect from Mortal Kombat. Right here we have classic, test your luck, test your might, and you have endless and survivor, which is pretty cool, especially if you want to just fight endless enemies for a long period of time. You don't really want to do anything else. Some people really like survival modes, so this is a really cool feature to have into the game, and they have different styles and stuff for each one. And then there's living towers mode, which pretty much has really crazy absurd different things in each one. They have specific things you have to do, play with specific characters or do different particular moves, things like that. And right here is Daddy's Girls challenge, which lets me have to play with Melina for this particular part of the game. They change every so often too, which they have a little timer at the top. At the top it'll say one may say 1 week or 1 day, and then they'll change different things that you have to do in the tower mode for living tower, which is pretty cool. Gives you something else to do besides just fight people. And here is the training mode, of course, which you need to use in order to like get your combos right, which I am doing right now with Sonya. I've actually uploaded this clip onto YouTube. You can check it out, my combo video for Sonya and a few other characters. I'll be posting a lot more of these as I learn new combos for different characters. Also, there is the crypt, which is really creepy. I thought this was pretty awesome when I started playing, because in the old crypt you just use your points and you got into stuff you unlock. But in this crypt, actually is a first person perspective, like, I guess, I wouldn't say action game, more like a jump scare type thing. And it's really cool, it's really moody, and you don't see things coming till the last second, like, you're here! Ah! Yeah, so that scared the shit out of me when I first played this. And that happens a lot, especially when you go inside the actual, like, tomb. You see stuff. You use it to get points, and you get different stuff for the actual game, which I thought was pretty cool. Now we're going to talk about the faction, which is probably one of the biggest things I think they add to the single player experience for this game. Now, you choose a faction when you first start playing the game, and each faction is comprised of different players around the entire world, and each faction is pretty much vying for, you know, position to be the best. And you get points throughout the entire game no matter what you do. If you're just playing single player, if you're playing online, doesn't matter. Whatever you do will give you points to your faction, and whoever has the most points in different periods, we get different I guess prizes and upgrades, stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. It keeps like a really like cool like aspect of this world view for it. And then you can look and see where your faction stands. You can see different things that you've done. You can look at all your particular stats in the game. And I think I really like this. I like this. This is very ingenious for them to add something like this, because it makes it feel like there's a big community of different players around the world. And you get to look at your individual things that you've done, and everything you do in the game will help your faction. So that's actually nice, because even if you don't really play online that much, you're still helping your faction no matter what. Now we're going to go and talk about the character list. There are so many characters in the game. Like, I was very impressed by the character selection for this game, because when it first started showing different trailers and different like impression videos when they were doing the promotions for this game, like maybe months and months ago, the first couple of ones they did, I was like, some of these characters kind of meh. But as time went on and they started showing more characters, I was like, wow, these are pretty cool. Especially a lot of the new characters I like. I like the fact that they've added a nice amount of new characters, but still retaining a lot of the old characters too. There's a lot of like returning characters, and there's actually gonna be more DLC characters. Now, another important detail is the different variation for each character. Right here is Royal Storm for Kitana, which gives her this really cool kick and gives her ability to shoot her wind a lot farther than it usually is. Then the next one is Mournful, which pretty much is Jade's stance. It gives you her glaive, which is okay, I guess. It gives you her staff throw. It's alright. I really want a lot more from the Mournful one, since Jade's not even in the game anymore. And then you have the Assassin variation for Kitana, which gives you this really cool running throw, which is not that damaging for the regular one, but the X one is really damaging. It takes about a good 19%. Also, she's given this move that allows her to buff her attacks, which is that right there, which is like this little sharpening move, which is pretty cool. It does like 23 in damage. So I like the fact they have these different variations for every single character in the game. And the actual fighting in the game is fun. I mean, the intros are really cool. Everybody has like really snarky comments to say. I did find that comboing in the game was really easy to do. I had a really hard time in playing Mortal Kombat 9 when it came to comboing and stuff like that. So I was glad that I was able to fight a lot easier this time around. Alright guys, so I'm going to talk about the audio-visual in the game. This game looks really good. Like, look at right here. Like, look at that. Look at how awesome that looks. Oh my god, the X-rays of the game are just so cool and awesome looking. And the particle effects for everything, the backgrounds are really nice. Sub-Zero looks incredible in this game. Like, the detail in his arms and with the ice and stuff is really cool. All the backgrounds are really well made. Like, these are really elaborate backgrounds in this game. Like, the sound effects, of course, are great, because I mean, you gotta sound really gruesome getting like chunks of your body getting mutilated all through the game and your bones cracking and all that stuff. The only part of this game I didn't like as far as the AV is concerned would maybe be the soundtrack. I think they could have made a really more, I guess, interesting soundtrack for this game. I didn't really care for a lot of the tracks for this game. Like, I can honestly say that part, I'll probably be playing my own music when I play this. But overall, the way the game looks and sound effects are great. So that's a A+ on that front. Alright guys, in conclusion, I think that Mortal Kombat X is possibly a milestone in their series as far as how great they've come as far as the games they've done over the years, because everyone can agree that the PS2 era for Mortal Kombat wasn't their best, but Mortal Kombat now is like a rebirth for the series, and Mortal Kombat 10 is like so it's breathtaking. Like, playing it is fun. It's really easy to get into. It doesn't take a lot of skill to like start playing. Of course, to get like really good, like a pro player, you have to really like take a lot of time to understand a lot of mechanics. But if you just want to play casually, just for fun, just to have fun with your friends, it's really easy to start playing. It's not a game that takes a really large entry to get into. It even has a tutorial mode too. It gives you pretty much the basics of the game. So I thought that was cool. The gameplay is really great. The story is really good and rich, and I really enjoy every aspect of this game. So my grade for this would have to be an A. Like, I have no real complaints about it. Maybe a few minor things, but they're not really that big. Like, the music, you can play your own music during the game, so that's not a big deal really for me. That's not a deal breaker to where this game will have a lower score than it should get. So what do you guys think? Tell us in the comments below. Continue to subscribe and like this and comment. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Kitana wins. Fatality.